So there were times people deviated during those early generations also, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided them guided the people through the correct methodology of Islam from the Sahaba, Tabi'in, wa Tabi'in. So during these generations after them, there were taba'an people who tried to infiltrate. And then came Qadariya, those people who say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala there is nothing like Qadr. There's nothing like, a decree which has been written. There was somebody who said Jabariya, who tried to say, see, okay, the qadr is there, but we are binded by the qadr. We are not given any free will. Okay, so no matter how much good you do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to deal with, you're going to go to Jahannam and all. You will not get the details, but that's known as al-Jabariyya. There's no tafsil to this. There were people who tried to come and they try to initiate new bid'ah in Islam. Those people who tried, for example, starting the celebration of the birthday of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they tried to say this is the deen of Islam. Waliyadhu billah. Now, there is nothing in the deen. So, all throughout this generation, from the Sahaba, Tabi'in, wa Tabi'in, when the deen was being transferred verbatimly and from min sudur al-rijal, there were people from the chest to the chest, and from memorization of the text to the other people. There were times where people did try to infiltrate the belief of Islam and try to corrupt it by their own desires. يَتَّبِعُونَ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ. They used to do ittiba of the hawa, of their own desires, and that is the reason there was sectism which had come. Now, when we see the sectism had come, those people who did not have dalil and did the ittiba of, and they try to do ta'wil, they try to distort the text and try to bring out their own meaning, they had made new groups. Let me give you one very small example where this expanded in such a way. For example, during the Khilafah of Abbasiyya. Well, Khilafah of Abbasiyya, what happened is, there was a person, the Khalifa was very much interested in the philosophy of the Greeks, the works of Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates. So what happened is that during that time, there was a person from the ulama known as Ibn Rushd. The Khalifa made Ibn Rushd, because he knew Greek, to translate the works of Aristotle and Socrates and Plato and the Greek philosophy into Arabic language. So Ibn Rushd did that. After that, the fasadat and the corruption which spread into the beliefs and the creed of Islam corrupted the belief of Islam, corrupted the belief of the Muslims, not Islam but Muslims. So that's the reason the Ilmul Kalam came. Ilmul Kalam meaning that people started to say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is everywhere, and Allah Azza wa Jal, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inside everything or not? How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Arsh, how is the Arsh of Allah? And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about his hand, how is the hand of Allah? Is it really hand, or is it something majazi, something which is, metaphorically? All of those type of questions known as ilmul kalam, they try to infiltrate. And many scholars, big scholars like Ghazali, and they fell into it. Though he died upon Tawheed and Sunnah later on, with Bukhari on his chest, that's a whole different issue. But people did fall into that error. From great scholars had fallen into error, known as the Mu'tazili. There were Mu'tazili. Mu'tazili meaning those people who heavily depended upon philosophy and who heavily tried to distort the meaning of the text of the Kitab and the Sunnah. And they tried to do ta'wil and takayyifat and how is it and how is it. And that's the reason this was not the manhaj of the Sahaba. This was not the methodology of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum in any ways. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying Ar-Rahmanu ala al-Arsh istawa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is above the seven heavens upon his Arsh. They believed in that way without going into tafsil. Likewise also in Akhbar Ba'd al-Maut, the news which comes after death, what is going to happen? The Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we say Nu'min ijmalan, we believe in the Hayat al-Barzakhiyya, the life which is going to come after that, all as ijmalan, as generally, collectively we take those narrations, and we don't try to, pinpoint and question each and everything. That is not from the manhaj of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum and of the Tabi'in, وَالَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوا بِإِحْسَانٍ إِلَى يَوْمِ الدِّينِ. That's not the way. So, you see, when this type of distortion was still going on, there was one group from the time of the Prophet ﷺ till now who was always upon the correct manhaj, and those people who were there, those people were the ones who had stuck themselves to the Kitab and the Sunnah. And because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in Sunan Abi Dawud, this hadith in Sunan Abi Dawud, that إنكم سترون اختلافا كثيرا من بعدي, that you will see a lot of اختلاف after me, من بعدي, after me. If you see those, فعليكم بسنتي, upon you all is to stick to my sunnah, وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين, and upon the sunnah of the خلفاء الراشدين, Abu Bakr وعمر وعثمان وعلي رضي الله عنهم, وعضوا عليها بالنواجذ, and you bite it within molar teeth, yani with the most strong way. And this hadith in Sahih Bukhari. طيب, and we have Kitab al-I'tisam in Sahih Bukhari, and anyone who wants to learn upon the tamassuk bil kitab and to sticking to the kitab and the sunnah, Kitab al-I'tisam is an amazing book. So this is how we understand the deen. The methodology of the Sahaba is not to deviate from the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whenever anything beliefs comes, there has to be a dalil, a proof. And that is قال حدثنا وقال أخبرنا.